I waited like a day-ish, a little bit more, something. Maybe it's been a couple days. Seems it was all nice and dry, so I don't have to worry about banging stuff and getting dirt and dust and grime and all kinds of crap in it. Now it's time to address that lower edge of that trunk. Now to do that, I have to take something and figure out how to wedge it back up in there to hold it tight enough that when I hit it, it doesn't move, because I need this whole leading edge of the trunk to rotate in to just, basically here's the quarter panel and here's the trunk, and I need it to shove back. And that should, in theory, fix the low spot, fix all that over there. Theory. So we're going to get on it, we're going to try to find something to wedge, and then push on it with like a 2x4 or something and hope that I can move it, because there's an awful lot of structure there, so I don't know. Oh, I don't know. There's not a whole lot I can do. I am happy with the way they turned out. I did create a little wrinkle, not a wrinkle, like a weevil, a wave, because I started hitting it too hard. I totally forgot that the back of that metal is not supported. It is on the edge, but not in the middle down through here, down across. I just slowly worked my way across over and over and over and over, and slowly kind of moved my way in, using the tail light as kind of a reference of how it should sit side to side. And I got it really close. It lines up beautifully on both sides. This part back here is still a little low. It, like, just right there. So I still need to bring it up. But I need two people to do it. I need someone to hold the trunk while I'm pulling on it, because I was doing it on the car and totally boogered up the seam piece, the little thin piece of sheet metal where the seal sits in it. I boogered that up. Now that's just take a hammer and dolly and just kind of go back and forth and it straightens up. But I'd rather not have to keep doing that, because eventually it's going to become brittle. I don't know. There's not a whole lot we can do without a compressor. And I think tomorrow I'll just take Marina to work and use her vehicle and go to Lowe's, because I have one, and see if I can set up maybe a delivery. And then clear out a crap ton of space. And then get a really long 220 line. Because I can't put it where the other compressor was, because the other compressor's underneath the bench. It's a portable compressor. They say portable, but try lugging that bastard around. It's heavy as shit. As you can see, but you can't see because she's in the way. Old compressor's behind that wood. Roughly. It's at the very end. We have to clear a full path, an organized path, mind you, from the front of the shop all the way to the back, and we have to get the old compressor. I'm just gonna not throw it out, because where the hell did you go? Oh, because the pump on it is still good, so we may use that for something else. I don't know, or maybe someday we'll find a new tank for it, but we're not gonna throw it out. What we are gonna do is chop off the whole top of that bench that's in the back, and that's where the new compressor system is gonna go. We've got all kinds of crap that has to go there too. Never mind. We have, I completely forgot about that. We've been measuring to the mill and didn't even think about the screen, but yeah, the screen just pivots out of the way. But we got enough room that if we line it up here, we can slide it and then slide it back into here. So when it's here, the only thing we're missing right now is a 3/8 flex line, so that we can go, say compressor line is here. We need to go to this wall, because there's going to be a board on this wall that has all these goodies. We have it here. This is the bad boy, big boy. Yeah. I'm happy. Except for we can't do anything with it. I'm not in exactly the best of mood because of that. Like, it's just disappointing. We get it here and then I can't even put this on, because this is 3/4 port, which that's what this says it's for, and it's Kobalt ringer. But max PSI is 150. So everything had to change, literally, because nobody has what they say they have, and nobody sells what you actually need. So this comes out of the tank, goes into this to step it down to 3/8. And then we will have to have, obviously, a 3/8 to 3/8, like so. And then finally we can hook up the pressure, or no, not the pressure, sorry, my bad, the on-off. Then from the on-off, we have this, another 3/8 to 3/8, into the air regulator. From the air regulator, it then steps. I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough. How did I do that before? I figured this out in my head without needing anything else. I think we have everything now. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully it'll kind of come up this way and have the regulator right over here. And then the soft line will come up over there. That's the plans. I want the regulator where it's really easy to access, since I can't put it on the wall because of that hose. Nobody seems to make a hose, and I'm not ordering one. So we're just going to come out and we're going to start building this. That worked. Couple issues. So, first thing I did is I did the 30-minute break-in, right, obviously. I do read manuals, not much instructions, but I read manuals because I wanted to make sure I was doing this right. Oil's good, obviously. I did buy oil from day one. I had to put oil in it. It comes just a little low, so I took it up to the red dot, which the top of the red dot is full. So I just filled it for now, and I'm going to check to see how quickly it kind of goes kaput. Plus, I'm going to watch the oil. I love this thing. My other compressor does not have an oil thingamajigger. It's got a dipstick. Whatever. A cheater eye. It's really nice because you can see the oil break down. Oil starts to break down. You know if you need to change it early or if you can change it late. They say every 3 months, but oil these days, they still tell me to change the oil in my car every 3 months. I run full synthetic. They tell me to change it every 3,000 miles. I run full synthetic. You don't change it every 3,000 miles. That's like old 1980s oil. And even back then it would have lasted longer. So you just keep up with it, keep an eye on it, and change it when it needs changed. Or before it needs changed, actually. I have no idea how you drain this one, because there is like no access to the bottom to drain it. So I'm assuming it is this little plug here, which oil has already leaked out of a little bit. But that was on the way here. We leaked a little bit of oil on the way here. So that's not one of the problems. So what happened was, you can't hear any of it on the camera, I guarantee you. I started to actually pressurize it for the first time all the way up. So I shut this off, started running it, and it hit 180 and still was running full tilt. So I manually switched it off, switched it back on, and did nothing. So I pulled the emergency check valve to make sure it wasn't stuck. Ran the whole system, checked it all. It was all running. I got the regulator set to 95-ish PSI because when you kick the tool on, it'll drop. So the throughput air is about 90, which is what most of my sanders and all that want. I don't like taking them above that. But everything pressurized good. The nipple back here, that's the other side of the gauge, because you can put the gauge on either side, was leaking. I fixed that. This was leaking. I fixed that. And other than that, it was good. I turned it back on auto, ran it down to like 130, 140-ish, somewhere around there. It kicked on by itself. Cool. And then it ran to like 165, 170-ish and kicked off by itself. So it could have been maybe something, I don't have a clue, beats me. But the motor's pretty hot. Yeah, it's pretty hot. So I'm just going to let it sit. And next episode, we will get back to the car. Because I wanted to let it sit because it just ran for 30 minutes straight like they say to. So, yeah. Let's try not to just overheat the thing. Which I don't think it would. But, and I like this big tank's going to be nice. Because the old little tank, the second I kicked it on, it immediately, the pressure, or the compressor kick on. This, I had to work to get the stupid thing from 175 down to like 130 for it to actually kick on. So, I think it'll be good. We'll see if it'll outrun the tools though. The shock compressor, which is the much larger version of this, it's huge. It'll outrun an air tool. If you're running a sander, it'll kick on, kick off, kick on, kick off all by itself. That little bitty thing down there, while it was a 6.5 horse, and this is a 3.7, I mean the horsepower is rated differently, I think. I'd have to assume, because you gotta think technology is a little different. But I'm not going to focus on any of that. We'll see how it works next week. I really appreciate you watching, because y'all watching and commenting is the reason